Okay. So I just wanted to cover the Wolverhampton and the West Ham game. I'm a Wolves fan. If you don't know, I feel like I have to say it over and over again, just because, just in case there's a new viewer out there. I don't know. So, okay. So we played this game. This was 2 days ago. Was it 2 days ago? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's 3-2. If you didn't know, Wolverhampton won. So yeah, just like big rotated side for Wolves and not so rotated side for West Ham. Okay. Now, thing is, Johnston, he doesn't play normally in the league. Bueno's in there. Mosquera is just returning to fitness from like an ACL and MCL tear. But normally, who is it? Oh, it's Toddy Gomez is the starter. So, yeah, Bueno is usually in there. I mean, we'll see how Mosquera is. Like, he looks like he could be good. He doesn't look like he's fully fit yet, but it's fine. Bellegarde's in there. Bueno looked like he was fighting for a spot the entire time, and he might have earned it because Muller-Wolf was not used in this game, which I thought was noteworthy. So, who usually starts in the league. So, Bueno. And Rodrigo Gomez is also trying to fight for a spot. Did decently, but obviously Jackson Chachua is better. Huang, his grandfather died, which sorry to hear about that. Performed admirably as a captain, missed the penalty, so unfortunately that didn't help his confidence. Lopez still trying to figure things out. I mean, he's a young player, so whatever. And Arias just trying to work it out. This is basically an unchanged side for West Ham United. From the Premier League games, Walker-Peters start, that's new. Mavropanos, Areola, that's new. Everything else, pretty much the same. That's it. Kyle Walker-Peters, by the way, because of, Wan-Bissaka wasn't even selected, which I think is noteworthy because of how poorly he played at Chelsea. Just saying. Max Kilman seems like he's getting a rest, maybe, but he also didn't play that well. But it's not because, Wan-Bissaka was played god awfully in the Chelsea game. He was at fault for the first 3 goals of Chelsea. So it was god awful, right? But, Kilman didn't play that well either. Because, if you lose 5-1, yeah, Mavropanos getting the start. Areola looks like he probably might be earning a spot over Hermansen, if I'm honest. But just as the game kind of went on, right? The first half was it just felt like both teams were relegation fodder. Neither team could really break each other down. Wolves had majority of the possession, but the chances were awful, awful all game. It was just nobody could really string passes together. It was so disjointed, all this other crap. And then Wolves finally get a goal right before half is because of a foul. Bellegarde draws a foul in the box. Huang misses a penalty by hitting the post, and then it's scrambled in by Rodrigo Gomez. Good goal for him, if I'm honest. This guy always runs hard. Always. He's not the most talented person, but the mental wherewithal of just the constant work rate, the constant enthusiasm, the constant determination, that'll get you far. No doubt Rodrigo Gomez is running ability. I would also say Doof, by the way, every time I watch Malik Doof, I'm very impressed with him. I gotta be honest. It's just, he's kind of like Gomez in mentally, just the determination, the willing to run, the enthusiasm, just the constant hustling and hassling. Fantastic. Walker-Peters should be starting this weekend. No doubt. Wan-Bissaka, he should be put on ice for a little bit because he needs to be put in timeout and think about his decisions. Bowen, obviously, basically carries the team. And that basically he does. But yeah, so then we go on and look, Souček, Paquetá get some good goals. There's some good action. So now West Ham go up 2-1. So now, this is the battle of the two teams that are kind of in relegation crisis right now. So neither team can really afford to lose the game. And it becomes that very, very quickly. Max Kilman gets brought on as a sub shortly after this, 7 minutes later, right, to try and shore things up. Just does a straight like for like switch for a Gerd, and that's it. And so, then what we do is we bring on the cavalry, right? We make 4 subs: Jurgen Strand-Larsen, Joao Gomes, Jackson Chachua, and then Matt Doherty, right? So we're taking off Mosquera, who's probably on a minute limit anyways, Rodrigo Gomez, not Huang, Lopez, and Bellegarde. We just make like a full switch. Now, big thing to note too, Andre did not play that well. Didn't start last weekend either, which is interesting because he's an extremely good ball handler. But, and of course, Newcastle's been hunting Strand-Larsen this entire time. And it's just like, it doesn't look good if everybody knows we're in a relegation battle right now. Everybody knows that Wolves are. And like we are what looks like will be a likely sale of our best striker, probably our best player as well. And yeah, there you go. So it makes everything sour. Vitor Pereira after the game said, look, I've been in football for a long time. Every player has a price. And to say that about Strand-Larsen, or just about, even if he's speaking not specifically about Strand-Larsen, that's not a good sign when you have sale rumors like floating around the club. You're kind of sending it out there. They're like, for the right price, we'll let him go. Whether you pay it or not is fine. There's also rumors that Strand-Larsen said, I would like to go to Newcastle. However, I don't want to be like Isak and have this whole stink fest, and then sit out and like training and all that stuff. That makes sense to me, honestly. I mean, look, Wolves, we've been relegation fodder for a couple years now, and Strand-Larsen also look, man, Norway wants to get into this whole thing is about the World Cup. This whole thing is about the World Cup, right? You have an expanded World Cup. There's more teams than ever before to ever go to the World Cup, right? Everybody wants to go there. It comes from around 4 times a year, once every 4 years. And a player might only get 2, 3, at max, 4 chances at this, right? And that's if you're the top level of soccer, right? But the thing is, most players probably get 2 to 3 chances, right? If they're good enough to make their national team. Strand-Larsen's looking at heck, if he can be what, 3rd choice striker behind Haaland and Sorloth in Spain, Strand-Larsen wants to do that, but he's got to make every effort to tell the coach basically, hey man, you should take a 3rd striker. You need a 3rd striker, right? Because they can only pick so many players for the whole competition. So yeah, Haaland's obviously 1 and Sorloth is 2. And Strand-Larsen, if he's good enough to really have a hot year at Newcastle, he might be able to contend with Sorloth. He might be able to, because Newcastle have Champions League soccer. So this is Strand-Larsen's chance to see if he can knock off Sorloth to at least get the number 2 spot in Norway. So that's that. Because Odegaard's obviously the other guy, the big guy. So they have a nice attacking, bunch there. But yeah, I mean, here West Ham, I don't know if I really need to go into what you guys everybody knows that you're in the real deep shit this year. It's obvious, very apparent. This is one of those games where it's nobody could care about the game. It's weird. It was weird. It's when you looked at the game, you're oh, Wolves and West Ham, 2 teams, we're so awful. It's 2 bad teams. Nobody cares about the cup. What you found though was that nobody cared, and then they started caring. Then it became first half, it's nobody cared, right? And then we scored, and it was kind of And then Graham Potter's like, dude, don't you guys like care at all? Don't you like, we got to win something, right? We got to win something. And then you guys score 2. And then Vitor Pereira puts on old reliable, the 4 players that he can rely on to actually put something on. New signing, Jackson Chachua, Matt Doherty, Joao Gomez, and Jurgen Strand-Larsen. Brings them all on, and then start bombing in crosses. Jurgen Strand-Larsen gets 2, flips it 3-2 late on, right? That goes on 82 and 84th minute, right? Shortly after that, obviously, he brings on Nicholas Füllkrug to try and say, like, oh, we need an attacker now. And we brought on Sasha Kalajdzic as well. He brings on right before the goal, too. And he's like, Kalajdzic is a monster, how big he is. So, like, it works out for us Wolves, which I'm happy about. And the thing is, too, is like, it's funny because like this game didn't matter until it mattered. It's weird. It's like, because obviously the EFL, like, it doesn't, who cares, right? Like, it's just not a big competition. A lot of these teams like bring out like a lot of, it's funny. It's like they bring out a lot of like subs or like reserves or youth, like, to play the game. And if West Ham brought out a lot of youth into the team, like, and just said like, okay, youth, you can go out there, then that's one thing, right? But they brought out nearly the same starting 11 as they did the previous 2 Premier League weeks, right? Which means like Graham Potter's like, I need a win. I need to win a game. That was like the pressure feel by putting on people like this, which made me think like, this is my new starting 11. Like, I think honestly, like if I looked at the starting 11, I think that's what West Ham's going to start, like was going to start next week, right? He's going to take Kilman off because he played terribly. Wan-Bissaka's out of the squad entirely, so therefore Walker Peters comes in, right? And then he's got a bunch of guys like Andy Irving, Freddie Potts, like Scarles, Orford, Marshall. It's like a bunch of like youth guys, right? Because there's other guys who are like injured and stuff like that out here. But it's like that's what I'm saw. I was like, oh, he put out a like as strong of a starting 11 as he could possibly put together because he knows he needs a win. As Wolves, we decided, Vitor Pereira decided that he's going to give like the number 2s like a little bit of a runaround, right? Bueno's battling for a spot on the left side. Mosquera's still coming back from an injury. Agbadou, I think Vitor Pereira trusts him, so he just kind of stuck him in there. Bueno, he needs a full 90 because has to get up to speed. He's probably going to play next week. Andre didn't play against Bournemouth. Bellegarde is literally like the Energizer Bunny. So I think Vitor Pereira knows that he's just going to be hustling all the time. So it's like he's a reliable pick. Wang needed a run around because he hasn't really been picked. He's been maybe like a sub. Arias needs. He definitely is not fully fit yet. So he's still picked him. He's also like the new marquee signing. So I think for confidence reasons, he was hoping that maybe Arias could get a goal. Fer Lopez has not gone to run around yet. So it's like a lot of reserves. And then when Wolves were like in the game, they were up 1-0. And then, they made 2 goals. Vitor Pereira's like, well, I don't want to lose the game. And then just throws on all the stars from the weekend on, and then it flips it out. So it's like a really peculiar game. I'm glad we won, but it was a really peculiar game to watch because once Wolves turned it on Strand-Larsen, there's obviously Strand-Larsen we were so overly reliant on Strand-Larsen, and the fact is that he's likely to be sold becomes for Wolves side like this bittersweet pill. But then on the other side too for West Ham, as soon as Wolves decided to lock in after they scored their second goal, as soon as Wolves decided to lock in, make 4 changes, and then just go for it, West Ham folded, and it was over. Like 63rd minute, right? 10 minutes later, Vitor Pereira's like, okay, everybody's got to be warm, ready to go. We have to blitz the next 20 minutes. Comes on, and then 10 minutes later, there's 2 goals. So West Ham. This now makes Graham Potter like untenable. And I feel bad for Graham Potter because I feel like he was hung out to dry here. Literally, like no signings, nothing whatsoever. You know, like who I don't even know of a single signing West Ham has. I follow the Premier League pretty closely, and I'm like, they bring in Hermanson? Like I could have told you he was. I did know about Callum Wilson, Kyle Walker-Peters. Okay, like that's a half decent free transfer. Like I'll take that. Malik Doof, good pickup, right? I think he was already on loan, so this is like a loan to buy option. So it's like, I mean, sorry, West Ham fans, I already know that's that reaction. You probably have a fiercer one, but like, I mean, Malik Doof is usable, Tadebo's usable, but he's not playing that well right now. Callum Wilson, like, whatever. Mats Hermanson, I could have told you he's not good enough. Unfortunately, if you watched him last year at Leicester, like you'd be like, yeah, this guy's a championship goalkeeper. Which again, like he's a championship level goalkeeper, that's a good living. That's a great career. You can have a great career. I don't want to say he's like a bad keeper. You know, I'm just like, I have doubts about whether or not he's a Premier League keeper. But nonetheless. This was a really peculiar game if you didn't watch it. But yeah, the last piece, if you didn't see the thumbnail, Jared Bowen went over to the fan section of the West Ham fans, and some of the West Ham fans were shouting some stuff. Now we don't know what that was because we only have video. But Bowen starts shouting back at the West Ham fans and starts getting heated and gets pulled away by some of his teammates. And that is a worrying sign because Jared Bowen is the lifeblood of the team. He is everything to this team. And if you start seeing Jared Bowen getting sick and tired of I think it's just a symptom of a problem that we all know exists already. But that's not good if Jared Bowen is starting to crack a little bit. By just the negativity that's swirling around. Wolves has got it. We got our own negativity, right? But it's when we look at the players too. We don't look at the players. We really look at like the owner. Here, I mean, West Ham, like top down. It starts at the head. Obviously, we all know like Sullivan, but like Sullivan and Gold. But I mean, I think like Graham Potter, he doesn't really fit the ethos of the club or the fans. So that there's like that aspect. But the other aspect too is like I don't know if the players are really fully bought in. That remains to be seen. And you know, they were bad last year and they started this season off poorly. And it does not look good for them. It really does not look good for them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. These are just my thoughts. I don't know. But this was like a really weird game. It was like the game nobody wanted. Like, I don't think Wolves were looking for it. Like, if you tell them this, like the atmosphere, the way fans felt about the team, the negativity, the losses going into this game, and then you're like, yeah, you take on the other team that's like in a similar scenario. Everyone's like, oh, great. The loser of this actually has to go to hell. Like actually go through the pits of hell. Because, yeah, whoever loses it goes through the pits of hell, right? Like whoever wins maybe gets a little bit of lift and maybe you'll see what happens on the weekend. So in Wolves, in this case, it's kind of like maybe you can carry that into the weekend, you know, that you got to win, you know, and you got a couple goals for some key players. But like now that West Ham has lost it, and in the fashion that they lost it too, I'm sorry, West Ham fans, you got to go through hell now. Like, and you might have already felt like you knew what it is, but you know, this is you've had a rough week. But I hope you liked it. I'm just putting out my thoughts. I don't know. The other thing is, they weren't as important. They weren't or interesting. The Man United game and this game were the two like interesting games that happened. I could go into the was it Leeds? Where are you? The fact Leeds. I'm gonna just give you a quick little shout out. I'm not gonna go the whole way here. You gave a little reserve side, right? There's a smattering of some of your starters, mostly reserves, right? This team that Sheffield Wednesday decided to put out was basically a bunch of children, and you got beat in penalties. So I'm sure you didn't like that after getting smashed 5-0 on the weekend. But Leeds, it's all about the league. It's gonna be a long season. Just keep your heads up. Like, you got a decent team. Honestly, you got a decent team. Premier League's tough. Like, don't let the Wednesday game come after you. Don't let that dampen you. Okay. All right. That's actually it. All right. I will see you later. And please, if you haven't already, please watch my Football Manager playthrough. I'm doing the Pablo Cunha story. We go through Uruguay, see what we can do. I'm not in charge of the transfers. It's a great challenge. I'm trying to play it almost realistically, if you will. But yeah, that's it. Thank you. Have a good one.